friend's party tomorrow and
Listen, the weekend is my time, all right? You can go see your little friends on Monday. And hurry up so you can come back and watch the game.
It's 75, little man.
It's a girl. Give me a bag of orange slices and a pack of Newport Hundreds. It's for my dad.
Look. $18.
We're going to GYRL, the film from the United States about a preteen girl and her father. Told really cut through the eyes of this, I'm assuming she's like between 10 and 12 years old, and kind of like the perspective of her father and like her like realizing her mom's not around right now.
I love the way it was shot, and so I'm watching it and I'm thinking, okay, how much is this the director's vision, and how much of the shot, how many of the shots were the DP's vision? We'd really like to know that. And then also, I read about it before I got here, and it said it was about an abusive father, and I guess it's all relative, because I was expecting him to be a lot more abusive.
I thought this was a really strong film. I love the opener, just that initial image of them playing basketball was super strong, and I personally love an open-ended film, so I liked the ending, but I know a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting, because the film kind of does end kind of like, it does kind of tell the story where this girl is, you know, her father's probably going to be raising her for a while, but it didn't come on a dramatic note, it just came on a kind of random kind of situation.
I like the fact that it was open-ended, so you could actually infer that she was probably sexually abused, and it cut from her closing her eyes and the father towering over her, and then she's on the basketball place with her eyes open in tears. So that's what we can insinuate, something like that happened. And I like the fact you have Y in the girl instead of I, so maybe it could be inferred like, why did this happen to this girl?
It was successful in a lot of ways, but the ending for me is the weakest thing about the film. And I love open-ended questioning, a film that raises more questions than it answers. But the one thing, if you're going to have a questioning ending, it has to be emotionally satisfying in some way. And for me, it just wasn't. So, yeah. But I think overall, I think it was very strong in many, many ways.
I thought it was a very urban story. I really liked the fact that she wanted to take her bike to see her love, or who she had a crush on. I remember doing that as young, just because I had a certain amount of time, and on a bicycle I could actually make that journey, see someone, and come back. I thought that was really nice, and it was a really quick glimpse at the whole story, and I thought the ending was very conclusive at sexual abuse, and I didn't think there needed to be any clarification of that. I thought it was very clear.
So a lot of people like got the open-ended. A lot of people thought it was a distinct conclusion.
For me, what struck me was the fact that everybody she knew was completely unaware. She actually was acting like a normal teenager. Like she would play basketball, she talked to the people, she go grocery shopping, but it wasn't shown. Like it wasn't evident for everybody around her. I think it also shows how many people walk around us with wounds or scars we don't see, and they just are there for us to look fine, but they're dealing with deeper wounds.
I'm wondering if anybody knows what was wrong with his eyes, because I wasn't sure, and then I'm wondering what the symbolism of that was. I don't know.
I don't know. I was looking at the eyes, and when they went and they bought the hot dogs and the buns, it was just showing sheer poverty of the situation, not having the money, and an eye infection. Just not money to have to. He had an eye infection. I can't remember the name of what it is, but and not having enough money to get medication to get that is part of their story, I guess.
I don't know if you caught that. It was interesting that the food was $7, and she added cigarettes, and it was $18 after the cigarettes. So they had a whole meal for $7, and of course he needed cigarettes.
I thought the eyes were sexually transmitted disease, part of an STD. It could have been syphilis, which was very common in America, the black community was targeted and given syphilis without vaccination. And I don't know how old the director is, and what time the story is from. Could have been an STD. It would personify the sexual abuse, a sexual pervert, or that type of thinking.
Yeah, because they were talking about, this is like being a basketball nerd, but they're talking about Spreewell and Iverson. They played in the 90s and the early 2000s, so it must have been kind of like in that kind of era that they were talking about. So anyways, last comments? Yeah, we'll just go to you.